Thank you, Acting Deputy President. I seek leave and the consideration of the Senate. I mistook Section 18 for Section 17, so I would like to take note of the Climate Change Authority's Sector Pathways Review under item 18.
I'm sure that's acceptable. Yes, it is. Are you seeking
Thank you,
leave?
and I thank the Senate.
Okay.
I move to take note of the Climate Change Authority's Sector Pathways Review, which is a wolf in sheep's clothing. It should be compulsory reading for every senator and every journalist intent on joining this migration of lemmings over the net zero cliff. Net zero is not some feel-good agenda. It's a fundamental destruction of our productive capacity, our businesses and our freedom, to rebuild in the image of the bureaucrats, academics and carpetbaggers that produced this report. The report authors hide behind the term consultation, yet consulted within their own urban bubble and got the answers they wanted. Yes to more money, yes to more power and yes to more self-importance. The climate change narrative has been constructed to work backwards from the goal detailed in this report. I've read it with my own eyes. Communist control mechanism. A control mechanism that I've never seen so clearly explained as in this document. Such unfounded confidence, such hubris. Based on scientific fraud, data tampering and cherry-picking. So let's go through it. Firstly, replacing petrol and diesel-powered vehicles, appliances and industrial equipment with electric versions. That's your car gone. The government will force you to buy an electric vehicle or have no vehicle at all. Gas heaters and hot water systems, gone. Gas cooking, gone. Gas barbecues, gone. Commercial kitchens put over to electric, which will force many to close as the cost is prohibitive. For families already struggling with cost of living under Labor, these measures will mean losing their possessions without being able to afford a replacement. This will become reality once the circular economy arrives in full, requiring a much higher build standard, repairability and high levels of recycled components. That sounds great. Just wait until we see the price tag. Appliances will have to be rented because most people won't be able to afford them. Remember the famous promise from the World Economic Forum's Klaus Schwab? You will own nothing and be happy. Are you seeing it yet? Secondly, we will need to generate more wind and solar power than ever before. For Australians living outside the urban bubble, this will mean every mountain and hill with a wind turbine on top, even more farmland covered in solar panels, fractured with transmission line corridors and access roads where none were needed. Every home will need a solar installation connected to a wall battery. $15,000 right there. Yet the power is not yours, it's theirs. To keep the grid on, your power company will take the charge out of your wall battery or your electric vehicle. Yes, your electric vehicle. This is what the report means when they say grid integration, sometimes called a virtual power plant. It's not virtual power, it's your power. Thirdly, the report accepts that while some technology like solar and storage batteries are now proven, necessary technology and many others is not. They have no clue what's coming. The decision to rely on unproven speculative technology across much of their sector analysis, punctuated as it is with weasel words like could and may, will inevitably underperform. Quote, the authority has not attempted in this report to examine how, where or when these future breakthroughs will occur. It's hard to believe they're jeopardising the whole country on this. That's the end of that quote. We are spending between $1 trillion and $2 trillion destroying everything we have on the promise of a better future based on breakthroughs that we know don't exist yet, not even imagined. That's criminal malfeasance. And given the strong flow of money from net zero carpetbaggers into the climate change nomenclatura, a stronger word may be appropriate. As an Age newspaper reported today, the Clean Energy Regulator has failed to manage conflicts of interest nor properly investigate fraud and staff concerns about its relationship with the companies it regulates. Under net zero cronyism, the suffering of everyday Australians and their employers has only just begun. The last thing abattoirs will slaughter is farming itself. The plan uses the discredited claim, quote, that livestock accounts for half of agricultural emissions, end of quote. This ignores the methane cycle. That's high school science. I know the disciples of the sky god of warming have rewritten the methane cycle and discredited those using it and advancing it. Yet science can't be rewritten, only lied about, as this report does. The reason for this spurious war on cattle is clear in the report. Quote, reducing our emissions will require the conversion of agricultural land to forested areas and the supply of suitable land is limited. The farming sector must realise that the bad guys are coming to steal more of your rights to use the land you own. The people who have the money to buy red meat and naturally grown produce after 2050 are the same people writing this elitist anti-human garbage. The same people that gorge on filet mignon and champagne at Davos tell everyday Australians to have to eat less. And you will have less, forced into city hive homes eating lab-grown meats and fast-cycle hydroponic greens with next to zero nutritional value. Based solidly on science and with every fibre of our being, One Nation opposes this agenda. I seek leave to continue my remarks.
Leave is granted. So we're